This is a lesson for left-hand slurs on the guitar. And for examples today, I'm going to be using two different examples. Exercise number 6, left-hand slurs, vertical builders, and exercise number 7, horizontal slurs, horizontal builders. So exercise number 6 and 7 come from my ebook, 20 Favorite Exercises. You can check out the ebook. It has notation and tablature and fingerings and tips, everything that you kind of need, and also the other 20 exercises. So the first exercise, exercise number 6, is a vertical builder. So it's just kind of going through slurs in left hand and doing all the combinations. You see this in almost every guitar technique book. A systematic look at just basically slurs using different finger combinations. But then the second exercise in my book is a horizontal one, which you can find in places as well. The thing I like about my book, and the reason I made it, is that it's progressive. So it starts with easy exercises and then continues with more difficult exercises. So just a couple of tips. The first thing that you want to do is ascending slurs. And before we just talk about just playing slurs, because people love to just dive in and start playing, the thing I would like to mention first for you to keep in mind is, first thing, the importance is to maintain your hand position, maintain everything that you've learned previous to this. So maintain your left hand position, use an even rhythm. So we're using eighth notes here, so 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and gotta maintain an even rhythm. And you have to have a clear sound. You don't want it to be muffled like that. You want it to be nice and clear, each note. Just for when you're practicing technique, right? Because you're trying to improve the clarity and the efficiency of your hands. And then of course relaxation. You want to make sure that you're not tensing up on each note or something like that. You just want to remain relaxed, drop your shoulders, and just go through the exercises. So maintain your hand positions that you've previously learned in other exercises. And you can check out lessons on my blog for that. Even rhythm, clear sound, relaxation. And there's lots of other things we could talk about, but it's a good 4 things. So for ascending slurs, which is the first exercise, number 6 here, you want to just make sure that you don't push hard, but just have a quick and snappy movement. So it starts off with a 1-2 finger combination. So you can just basically use your thumb for the bass strings and your fingers for the upper strings. And try not to go too fast. If you try to go through it really quickly, you're not really working on your technique, you're just kind of playing. Go slowly and try to gain control and relaxation and snappiness and lightness in the left hand. Then you can really hear if you're buzzing or doing anything strange. You can also check out these fingers to make sure they're hovering over the fret, they're not ending up over here or something like that. So that's the first one, 1 and 2, and then the second one is 2 and 3. We don't have to go through all of them, but 2 and 3, the exercise is abbreviated, but it's intended that you would go through, up through the strings and then back down through the strings. And just remember, you want to stay close to the frets. Millimeters count, so not over here, not here, not here, but there. These 2 fingers don't like to separate too much, so don't force it, but at the same time, just keep it in your mind. The next combination after 2-3 is 3-4. Some people have problems with that one. And then back down. I'm just going to abbreviate it now. And then 2-4. And then 1-4. And then there'd be the 1-3. And you can go up and down. You can just do it on a loop if you want, but for now I'm just showing you. So The next section of exercise number 6 is descending slurs. So the same combinations of fingers, but with descending patterns. So with descending slurs, there's 2 ways to practice them. One is where you just kind of do a pull off at like an angle. So you play the first note, probably put both fingers down, right? Well, you pretty much have to put both fingers down. And then you play, and then just a slight angle, you take your finger away. This sometimes moves your forearm a little bit, but not much. Get kind of more of a strong, weak sound. And then the other way you could practice it, particularly practice it, not necessarily play it, is with the left hand rest stroke. So in other words, you're going to snap your finger down into the string below. So you wouldn't even need your left hand actually, but to make the sound. That would give you a nice clear snap. Probably when you're playing, you're going to do some kind of combination between the two. Not quite just pulling off, not quite pulling straight down, but some kind of combination. But you should practice it in the 2 different ways so that you become efficient and proficient at it. So same combinations. It's 2-1 first. Whoops. And then 3-2. Down, and then 4-3. Just keep your fingers kind of in this left hand position. 4-2, 4-1, 3-1. And you just go up and down through the strings like that. So just all the different combinations in your left hand, and you just kind of maintain it and keep it really clear. If you're using my book, I'd recommend you just take a metronome and you keep track of your metronome speeds and check them off as you go, just right next to the exercise, so that you can keep things organized and make sure that you're progressing in a positive way. So the next thing that you'd want to do after you feel really confident with those exercises, because remember my book is progressive, so you complete one exercise, then you move to the next one. When you move to the next one, it's more difficult, but you try to maintain everything that you learned previously. So in number 7, it's a horizontal. So same idea is that we're using our slurs again, ascending slurs on the way up and descending slurs on the way down, but this time we're staying on a single string and moving up and down the fingerboard. This is really great because it causes you to release the tension in your left hand. Sometimes when you're doing vertical exercises, people squeeze too hard and then they get locked up in this area over here and lots of tension builds up. Hopefully when you're shifting though, you have to kind of release the tension every time you do a shift. So the pattern on this one goes 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4. Then you move up 1 fret. So that's the pattern. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4. Then you move it up 1 fret. And you do the same pattern. 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4. Once you reach the 12th fret, you go down, and when you're going down, you're going to do pull offs with the same combos. So you're going to go 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 2. And that's the pattern. Then you move down a fret and go 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 2. So you do it continuously all the way up and then back down. And don't just practice it on the 3rd string. I've only put it on the 3rd string in my book, but you should practice on all the strings. On the 1st string, on the 6th string. And go up and down and make sure that you've covered it. So, I think that this is a pretty comprehensive way of just getting into slurs. And so you're doing a vertical one and then a horizontal one. It gets you started with slurs and gets you kind of involved with slurs. It gives you an idea of what's going to be required of you later on. And then you can, after that, you can go into other books. And there's lots of books out there, like Ricardo Izanolo's book is really fantastic. The Shear book's pretty good, maybe a little outdated, but it's pretty good and comprehensive. He's always very comprehensive. So that's ascending and descending slurs, 2 exercises from 20 favorite exercises, and that's from thisisclassicalguitar.com. Thanks very much.